What is up, everybody? It is your boy Triple G93 here, giving you another live commentary match of a Halo Wars 2 game that I played. I am playing as Atriox, and I have a teammate that is playing as Johnson and another teammate that's playing as Decimus. Decimus is orange, Johnson is red. I am going against a Shipmaster, which is light green. Dark blue is Jerome, and light blue is Serena. So here I'm opening up with supply, gen, supply, and then gen. And one thing I've learned is that you can actually make a grunt as well as a UNSC beforehand and get resources around the map and still be able to get that second gen on time if you're going supply, gen, supply, gen. And you're going to be able to see that here. So in just a couple seconds, here we go. We got it timed out perfectly. Boom, and get the upgrade in. That's pretty smooth with an extra grunt out on the field. So a little bit of an efficiency gain that I've gotten there. So I think the goal here is for me to go ahead and get that Atriox out. Let's get this raid camp out. There's I've been talking in the comment section here and there, and it was suggested to me to try out raid camp with brutes and whatnot with Atriox, and so that's the plan that I end up going. So I'm making the raid camp here. I know I'm going to get the mini over here to put my war console at, and so there was a little skirmish there trying to get the power, but this is pretty much my build. So I'm trying to go ahead and get this additional power if possible, but all of a sudden on my mini maps, like, oh, that's a lot of infantry. My fear is that he's going cloak, right? But I don't really know what they're going to do, and if they go cloak, I'm kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, so I'm not going engineer, so I'm not going to know what they have, right? So I went to double check. Okay, I'm going against Shipmaster on my side. I need to be able to take this into account, but I'm going to just start making brute hammers right away as a whole in general and see if I can grab the remainder of the power. War console's still not up yet, but I am building a sensor tower to go ahead and deal with any cloak nonsense, right? I know it's going to be a problem if it does become a problem. I just want to be prepared for that outcome since we're not really scouting accordingly. So still making brute hammers. Hot grouped my raid camp to the right D-pad so I can be able to do that. Got fortification. I have every intentions to expand upwards instead of expanding to the right, just given the situation. And so war console is just finished. We're going to go ahead and start building our Atriox. We do have extra power, so we can go ahead and try and upgrade our supply gen. And I believe we're going to go ahead and try and do that once the opportunity presents itself, when I have free spare time. And so still producing the hammer dudes. There's that upgraded harvester that I was talking about. And now we're just going to keep trying to reinforce. We're going to capture these nodes. And I am going to send one grunt, if I'm not mistaken, yep, to go ahead and capture that left side because I do have countermeasures. I want to go ahead and get mines on there. And so I got brute hammers still being made. I'm getting the shrapnel mine upgrade as well. And I actually think I ended up canceling that so I can get the Atriox upgrade, because there was an instance where I was trying to use the grunt Y move and it never happened. So this is a great chance for me to confirm that. But yep, it is canceled. So I did cancel for the brute thing. Light blue shows up with some infantry, and so we're gonna get our brute hammer dudes down with some Y moves, get a good stun in, and get some grunts engaging this fight as a whole. So this is a good engagement so far. I'm really liking it. My leader has just come out, but it's still not in the prime spot yet. So we're gonna just go ahead and just start retreating as a whole. On this side, we're not going to have the brute hammers alive anymore. We're going to keep retreating because those are some nice ice vets. And I've decided, like, okay, green is going to go ahead and push this side. Let's start making suicide grunts. I'm going to keep focusing on mid where my teammate is at, because I know I'm going to expand upwards anyway. So there's really no reason for me to go ahead and do something. So this is where I would have thought I had my Y move, which was why I was trying to engage that, and I just wasn't able to. So great Y move by my hammers to get a good stun in. We're still making suicide grunts, and I'm keeping an army here at my main base for when green shows up. And speak of the devil, green is actually showing up if you look at the mini-map. I'm trying to do some micro to keep Atriox alive, so I'm going to get him up on the garrison. And then we have suicide grunts targeting the leader, which that wasn't really the best move, but we still have suicide grunts going after the grunts as a whole. And so the turrets is doing great work. We're doing great damage on his mass grunts that he has. And that was a great hold on my side while I'm also fighting blue in mid as well. So I'm getting that upgrade. That one single turret with sensor tower worked out really well for me. And now I can send the remainder of my reinforcements upwards to go ahead and keep on fighting over here at mid. I want to try and capture that node if possible because that ice in mid is a problem. So I am making one more turret because I want to just be able to solidify that line of defense. Orange has now shown up with his grunts and his hero as well, so we're going to be able to clear out the remainder of what light blue has at mid. So still trying to make additional grunts. We are getting that second base, which is what we are trying to do. It's what we're trying to establish. And we're doing some great damage with Atriox. He's going to be level 1 soon. A Y move was used by the hammer, by Decimus, in order to, you know, get a little bit splash. So because I lost that mini base, I want to go ahead and get this war console up. And now we're going to go ahead and just have Atriox just continue to do as much damage as possible. Vortex comes down and it helps take out almost 2 Warhogs. He starts retreating, which is pretty nice. And now all of a sudden, Decimus is kind of in trouble over here. So I'm going to go ahead and get that upgrade. And I want to go ahead and just keep producing hunters now to get that anti-vehicle, just because we have that hero that's happening over there. But Atriox is now vet 1. Everything's frozen over here at mid. Would have loved to cancel that ice if possible by capturing that node, but we weren't able to. But great Y move goes down by him. I send my hammer dudes to deal with what's at the bottom. A cleansing beam goes down on their Decimus, and I have to retreat my Atriox just a little bit. And it looks like Decimus ends up getting taken out, but we do end up exchanging cleansing beams, getting rid of the leader on each side. And we have decapped the point at mid as well, which gets rid of the ice. This is looking pretty good for us. Like, there's still the issue of green that's happening on the right lane, but we were able to win the fight against light blue at mid, which I think is pretty successful in itself. So I see that blue is going air. It is a problem. I'm going to keep making grunts to try and counter that, but I don't really have the anti-air and I don't really want to rely on grunts. So I'm going to go ahead and make a foundry. I'm still making grunts because I'm going to just need some cannon fodder in my army. And so still trying to build elite rangers, trying to build hunters. We're going to get that infantry upgrade. We're going to get that air upgrade. We're going to get that fortify upgrade. And then we're going to keep trying to expand on our economy that we can on our second base. So I think things are looking relatively well. I want to go ahead and scout the enemy and see if they're going to have something going on. Turns out I didn't even get the air upgrade. And we're going to start making reavers now to start preparing for the air units that blue has. And so one thing that I noticed just recently by looking at the map is I never captured the node that I put on hold position for my grunt, which is, you know, a little bit of a shame, but it's okay nevertheless. So we're still going to scout and see if an expansion has happened, and boom, no expansion on this lane. I was like, okay, that's a good sign. It looks like green's the only one that has expanded. And red is actually in a little bit of trouble over here on that top lane over there. So I went to see if blue expanded. No expansion by dark blue either. And so I'm like, okay, I can go ahead and try and reinforce and help push that lane. Or just help reinforce that lane as a whole. Cleansing will be coming up. I have an Atriox Bureau, and I put it down to help save the Banshee as much as possible while they're dishing out a little bit of damage. But it's still not really the best engagement for him, but not much we can do. I'm going to send the reavers here at the bottom of my base just in case green decides to show up with his air and all that stuff. But my Atriox is here. Cleansing beam has just shown up at the perfect time, but I don't have the supply for it. This is quite a problem. And so waiting, and the cleansing beam is now going down. All the infantry start grouping up very nicely. Yes, they are vet 1, but they are taking a lot of damage there, and all the infantry is taken out. Their leader is taking a lot of damage too, trying to put down a Y move with the Reaver to try and stun him, and I miss. And Atriox is still trying to take the shot. He's got one more shot he needs to take, and he's able to take out the leader. All of a sudden, light blue has shown up with a bunch of ice flamethrowers, I don't know what they're called, and marines as well with their leader. If they're trying to push mid, this is going to be a problem. So I make more elite rangers. I'm going to get ready to engage him at mid. and he's just still going actually, which is quite surprising. So I'm trying to push this effort over here to try and stop light blue from continuing his push. Orange is aware of him, and so I'm trying to get a nice squish situation, but Orange's army is out of position. So still trying to push with what we can, but he's covering himself pretty well with some ice bombs, and he's trying to get rid of the expansion base that's happening by my teammate over here. A great cryo bomb goes down on me, and here's a seismic on my army as well, which I got off screen, so I ended up losing a lot of units. It took a lot of damage from that. Not much I can do about it. Still making some hunters, still making some air. I have the buildings hot group, so I have no idea why I'm going to these buildings individually. This is a habit I definitely need to try and break. But we were able to clear up light blue's army. Then I realized, hey, I need to capture this node. That node should have been captured about, I don't know, 6 minutes ago, so I do feel bad about that. We could have had a lot more power than what we had. So finally capturing that, our teammate got Colossus scouts. We're getting a good air army going by Orange, and now I see a push that's happening. Bunch of blisterbacks that's happening by Green. I ping to let my teammate know, hey, this is the area that needs to be addressed next. Let's see if we can go ahead and address it. So I start falling back for now because I don't want to give as much damage as possible to the blisterbacks, but they're still in range of my base just because they have someone garrisoned up. It's going to be a problem nevertheless. So I decided to go ahead and make the move because looking at the minimap, Blue's Banshees are also showing up the right time as well. And so they have a lot of locusts, they have a lot of blisterbacks, and there's a huge army that we're going to have to engage. But a cleansing comes down by Decimus, and he is literally decimating everything, no pun intended. And we're getting rid of all of Green's army. Atriox is getting rid of the shipmaster at the bottom. We're just looking very good and very strong. We just cleared bottom up entirely. So now I have enough supplies to get my 3rd gen. That's something I've been wanting to do. We can start getting a strong push at the bottom. We're getting shrouds just to deal with any anti-air that may show up. And so we're continuing this push to see if we can go ahead and take out Green. We're going to put in a sensor tower. We're going to get vehicle upgrades. And now we're going to go ahead and try and push on Green. So Reavers are doing damage, killing them Banshees on spawn. Hunters are doing a great job killing that as well. We're just going to keep clearing out these blisterbacks. This is 700 supply that's just being tossed right out the window. It's good that he staggered it. It's blisterbacks, but there's just not much. I decided to stop the push because the ice went down and a displacement happened on Orange. So that means I'm kind of by myself over here on this side. But any units that Green's trying to make is clearly getting destroyed. Reavers are getting destroyed, Elite Rangers are getting destroyed. And so now bunker went down by Red. That's going to let me garrison up just a little bit while we go ahead and take out Green's base. Meanwhile, Blue is starting to capture mid now. Looks like he's given up on Red side of the lane for a little bit, but we have completely devastated the right side as a whole. We killed all of Green's army. He's lost the 2nd base. It is not looking good for him. He's still trying to send some Banshees, and it's not the best move. So things are looking relatively well, and now our next objective for me, by the way, is to go ahead and just keep pushing this right lane and have my teammates handle whatever's happening at mid with Blue, since he's supposed to handle the lane with Red, but he switched over to mid. So Colossus are making their engagements, Banshees are there to also make their engagement, and now I have Green to go ahead and engage on my side as well. And so once again, great cryo, great seismic toss thing, and cleansing comes down. Look at this cleansing. It's just melting everything. He tried to split to the best of his ability, but this cleansing had got so much value. And yes, I did lose a good chunk of my army from that ice combination, but I have a level 2 Atriox now. Infantry is level 2. Vehicles are now getting upgraded to level 2, and air for heals. Things are just looking spectacular at this point. And light blue is going to lose this base, so Green ends up resigning. Light blue's base ends up getting destroyed there, and now it's just an army that dark blue has. Like, he's transitioning to all air, but it's a little bit too late. It's a good counter against the Colossus that's happening over there, but given with Orange, Banshees, with Decimus, the rest is pretty much said and done. Now I do think that I opened up pretty well, and I read the situation pretty well too, where I decided to fortify my base just enough to know what I needed to hold, right? Made suicide grunts as soon as that mini base was destroyed, got my leader out on time, won the battle at mid, stopped green from trying to abuse my base early on. I knew he was going to have an expansion, but double checked if dark blue and light blue were going to have an expansion. All in all, this was played really well by me, honestly. I felt like there are some areas where I could have done better this game. For instance, I left that one power node open for quite some time. But other than that, this was a pretty solid build. I stayed infantry the whole time. I did go reavers for the anti-air, which that worked out really nicely instead of having to go with the grunts. And great eradication, but the base gets self-destructed. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with how I played this match. Definitely a lot was going on. Helped assist my teammate for red as well, being that team player that I am. And so yeah, that was it. Using this new account to have better experiences for my other teammates. And so 8 for 16, 22 for 41, and I went 23 for 115. So hope you enjoyed this. It was a lot of fun playing it, and until next time. So yeah, I know it's a new account, but it's for a good cause. Until next time, G out.